Good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome, coming to you from a bunker in soggy Southern California. Trying to stay out of the rain. It's been raining pretty much all day and going to rain, I think, again tomorrow until Tuesday. So hopefully we don't float away.
Right? Let's hope I can remember how to float.
Luckily, a lot of sand here, so it does soak in the water eventually. It takes a couple of days, but it does soak it in eventually. And turns everything really green out here, which is really cool looking, but most of it's weeds, but it's still pretty from afar. Everything turns like this emerald green. It's really pretty.
Very pretty.
So we came on tonight. I didn't know what topic I was gonna do, but I think we're gonna do toxic connections. There, you should do the jingles for us. It felt like you were saying neener, neener, neener.
Kinda, well.
Yeah, I like this. I'll tell you what, anybody that's listening back from Utah, neener, neener, neener. I know you're all cold out there, but cold asses. I tried to
And
say
it's
that.
chilly out here, but only just
It's
chilly.
not that chilly. I mean,
just chilly. Only just chilly.
it's not like when you sit outside for a minute in Utah right
Oh
now.
no, my nose hair's
Like your
frozen
nose,
in
yeah,
Utah.
your boogers are frozen. Sorry, but your snot's frozen. Your everything's frozen. It hasn't been that cold. I mean,
No, it has
20s.
not.
Probably. I think they've got down to like, I don't know how long or how far is or yeah. How low has the temperature got in Utah, in northern Utah? Teresa should know. How low has it gotten? Like down to 0 yet? Yeah, it's 52 right in the rain, and Norma's calling it cold. I mean, it's cold. You could die in this. You can die in 70 degrees chilly. From hypothermia. Do you know that? Chilly. Yeah, Norma has to put a dance to everything. And song and dance. So I said she should do the jingles.
Sorry, I was raised on musicals. What can I say?
Only 2 of us on Facebook. Really? There's more people on YouTube? Good.
Wow, that is good.
Facebook's dying anyway. Or they're killing my channel. One of the two. Probably both. Right. It's sad to go on YouTube anymore. It's like, God. And I don't know. Or not, yeah, on Facebook. YouTube, everybody hit the like button, subscribe. And Facebook's been really just hasn't had a heartbeat lately. Even when they've done their reels and stuff, they're just like, Instagram does better reels, and that is Facebook,
but they had to take it from Instagram.
Yeah, it came from Instagram, the reels. And I can't even share reels. I can't even do reels. I can't be part of the reels program anymore. At first, I was doing reels, like I was doing them on TikTok, and I was sharing them on Facebook, on their reels.
You're still to make a little money.
And I mean, it's a little bit of change, but it helped. And they said that I was restricted from doing reels. So.
Oh no, never mind.
Because they're not allowed in this country. Pretty weird. Yeah, YouTube's good. We got 7 people in here. What is that? 7? Nice. That's about our average. We'd like to get more people, but I just released our podcast.
But you know what?
all over the podcasting platforms. They're on Apple. That we're on. Oh, there's all kinds of different ones. Google. They have a podcasting platform. There's a few. Like I think we're on like 6 or 7 different platforms. So, and half of our audience on the podcasts, 2 are from the United States so far, and 2 are from Mexico.
Whoa! Look at that.
So we're getting a little bit of reach. We're starting it out.
A little bit.
So this is a value for value show. You want to tell them what a value for value show is? I'll go through the spiel. Time, talent, and treasure. time, giving us your time, giving us your energy, talent, giving us what, or helping us out with whatever skills you have to make the podcast better and the show better. And treasure, meaning the monetary. If anybody can do that, we appreciate it. The link is in the description on YouTube and on Facebook. And it's just my link tree. So if you'd like to throw a little bit our way, we appreciate it. I mean, we've had pretty much everybody in here has thrown a tip or donation. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. But thank you all for being here. Please share it out. Let's see if we can get some people on social media. I think we can eventually. We've just started. But this is number 17. Toxic connections. So what do you think about toxic connections? What's your example
of a toxic connection?
Yeah.
Well,
human connection, or maybe you can have a toxic connection to a lot of different things.
That's true.
Not just humans.
Right. My best example of just surely explaining what a toxic relationship is.
Toxic relationship. That's better.
Is
I do want it to be about humans.
Yes.
That's really what we're talking about.
Would be if you're giving or you feel as though you give and give and give and you're not getting anything back. Right? That's to anything.
Or you're getting beat.
Or if
or you're getting just completely treated like shit. Like
right.
And
which is what I mean. Like
or you're doing that to somebody else.
Right.
Or you're both, you just can't be like, you love each other, but you're just so volatile together that you just can't. You all had that type of relationship before, right? That it's very passionate, but it also goes so passionate that it's that it basically turns into obsession and then turns into anger and hate, fear. And you end up fighting.
Right. Yeah, those things that you feel like you cannot do without, but you're giving so much energy to, or you feel like it's just not giving you anything good. It's not uplifting you in any way.
Right. Yeah, I can see you, Teresa.
I can see you.
I can see you from the beginning. When you first came in here.
I know Pel's doing that.
I'm just singing along today. She's singing.
I sing when I chore.
Getting in the creative mind. You were what? You were choring?
I sing when I chore.
It's a good thing you put the C on the front of that.
Fucking funny.
But yeah, we're just I think a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people or have in the past, not as much lately, but still there's some that are really hanging on to a connection that's just not working for them and hasn't been working, or the opposite. They are completely in a relationship and totally think that it's just going to completely go kaput, and so worried about it not working in the future that they actually put that stress on the relationship because of that energy and that non-trust, when there's nothing to be, especially when there's no reason not to trust your partner. So that,
I mean, knowing your partner enough to know when there's actual red flags, and then knowing yourself enough to know, when is my emotions taking play? Am I just am I being dramatic with myself? Am I showing myself the worst case scenarios? Can I just let them go and relax and see where things go here?
Yep. And that's the hardest part, relaxing. And I know we all get it. We all get to that point, like when we get into a relationship. At one point in our life, maybe not, maybe you have the greatest relationship, and you don't have your balance.
Some people are very lucky with that.
And there's a lot of those out there.
I say lucky with that because
but there's a lot of people that get involved for the wrong reasons. There's a lot of people, like I notice, like young people, they get pregnant pretty early, and they get pregnant early. I did the same thing, so I could kind of have this like connection with this person, but really it wasn't as much having the connection with the person. It was having the idea of what I think I should be doing at that time.
My first marriage, I was in love with the idea of something. And unfortunately, my parents pushing us into a marriage. That realization came shortly thereafter. Wow, I was just in love with the idea of this whole thing. This is not like, but that's.
But I think they have that like mentality. A lot of them,
Yeah.
not all of them, but that generation that's coming up, into their early 20s.
I think a lot of people in Utah feel that way too.
Oh yeah,
there's that societal kind of idealistic, like you're supposed to do things.
That might be a bigger percentage. Like they might be the leaders or one of the leaders, but I think this is going on all around.
Oh, everywhere. Yes.
Everywhere. Yes. I mean, I know in India they were arranged marriages for you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure about how they do it. What age?
I think you're
I think you actually, but I think you are actually a professional. You're going. At least the men are. They've set them up with men with money, and because the families know each other. So yeah, we don't have it that hard.
Right.
And we have our own issues, but
yes, we do.
These issues are going on all around the world in different ways.
Yep.
But they are, and a lot of these can end up toxic. Like, because you're just thrown into, you throw yourself into somebody and do whatever you can to stay, keep them anchored with you, and they doing the same to you, or it being thrust upon you and you just listening and just obeying. It doesn't matter either way. It's not a good way to,
if you're in a relationship that you're there because you have to be for whatever fucking reason it is. If you feel like you have to be there, it's probably not very healthy, or you're looking at it really wrong. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You shouldn't feel pressured to be with anyone or anything, right? You shouldn't feel like you have to have it or else, or like, the whole world is going to crumble.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you get yourself, because oh my God, I can only be with this person. There's no other ones out there for me. It's just the one. I hear that from 15-year-olds, and I hear that from 50-year-olds.
Right.
Get that out of your head right now.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's a widow or widower and they move on, so they found the next love of their life,
right,
or one of their other loves of their lives.
Right.
But we get like so weird and programmed into this. I've got to have this ideal family thing, and that's good. You should reach for those goals and strive for those goals. But forcing yourself to be with somebody that you're miserable with,
right. I
don't think, Jordan Peterson would disagree and say you should stay married at all costs. But I don't think so either.
Right.
I think you find a happy medium, but I don't think you should just leave just because, there's little problems.
I mean, you don't just get bored and decide, hey, I'm out of
here. But yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Actually, that happens a lot.
I know, unfortunately. But that's what I'm saying. Before you get into that deep of a commitment.
Maybe that wasn't the connection
before
they
you
were
go,
supposed to be
getting
with.
into that levels, really take the time to know, like, how you, if you're one of those people that, like, doesn't, like, have long-term friends, or, like, if you have certain patterns around people, like, take that into consideration. Even if you fall head over heels for somebody, take the time to know and understand who you are with this person.
Right.
And are you going to be able to handle it, or are you just going to get bored? You don't want, dive in and then 20 years later, okay, I'm bored now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that point, I'd like to think that at least most couples would try to work on it. Let's try to spice things up. Let's get creative. Let's see if we can't work this out.
Right.
As opposed to, well, I'm bored and done now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to stick, you've got to stick through things. If you want a relationship to last anyway,
right,
you're going to get in your fights and your disagreements and disharmony.
Right.
It's just.
Well, I think that, like I said, every couple goes through a level of toxicity at times. I think that in every relationship, it deals with a period of toxicity. Now, some people are very, very mature when they get into relationships, and they can handle these toxic moments without being so toxic, right? They handle their moments.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people in this society, we've not been taught how to handle these emotions, and we're not all that mature. And so I think it's fair to say that most couples deal with certain levels of toxicities at points of time. Right. It's about learning how to reflect on that, change that, and growing together.
Yeah.
Or knowing when you got to step away.
Yeah, or knowing when you got to step away, and just knowing not to hold on when somebody steps away and they're away.
Right.
But we still have a chance.
Right.
That's the hardest part, though, is getting yourself to a different mindset from there. When somebody that's been wounded and kind of left behind, or you feel left behind, if that person left, they left. That's just, you move forward with your life.
Right. You allow yourself time to grieve.
And they
or
may come
whatever,
back, and they do a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But half the time or more than half the time they come back, there's no changes being made.
Right.
Nothing's changed. It's going to go back. It'll be good for the first month or two, and then
you're wrapped up in those
you're
bad
right.
behaviors.
And the more you do it, the worse it gets. Like
Right.
the shorter the intervals before that person turns back into an asshole or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, it's just like when you're raising your children, right? Setting those boundaries early and being consistent and knowing when to discipline, knowing when to be more coddly, you know what I mean? Like those things are hard for most people to figure out exactly when the right times to do those things are, right?
Right.
A lot of parents get over coddly or over this or over that. We're all a little imbalanced a lot of the times, right? Yeah. It's about being able to recognize that and work on that constantly, like continually working on the fact that you're slightly imbalanced.
Right.
In everything, right? We've grown up in certain ways that we know aren't always exactly the right way for every position in our life. But it's a foundation to begin with, right?
Yeah.
You go back to your foundation. Okay, hang on. How did I deal with that before? Did it really work for me? And then making a conscious effort to change that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm more like focused, I think, more on the part where they really hold on to it.
Yeah.
When it's really not a good idea.
Well, see, and that's just
or they hold on to the idea of the way they think it should be.
And that's the whole thing.
That becomes toxic as well.
It does. If you're holding on to a certain picture of something and you think that only one person can fulfill that or one thing or one item or whatever, you're holding too tightly.
Yeah.
Then you have to know it is your thought process on this. Mm-hmm. You're the one that is squeezing and tying the rope, right? You might think that someone doing something is affecting this and that's why it's making you there. But if you have that thought in the first place, you got to really reflect. Hang on now. What's really going to happen should this happen? Like,
you've got to look down the road too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, if this happens and everything works out ideally,
right?
Where's it going to go? Sometimes you can look at that and go, "Oh shit, it's still not going to turn out the way that I really was planning." And you can't expect,
right?
But you can move together with the same ideals and the same goals. Mm-hmm. Mutual goals,
right?
And if you're agreeable and willing to kind of, be a ride or die,
right?
Or a loyal person to your mate and a teammate, you can get a lot of things done. You can make a lot of changes. You can do whatever you want. I mean, the sky's the limit. You guys, things can go really well. But understanding that one person's going to have, there's going to be times when one of those people is not going to be at their best.
Right.
Or the other one's not going to be at their best. Mm-hmm. And you got to decide there whether, is this a long period of time that we're dealing with this? Like, are we going from like, hey, the last couple of weeks has been a jerk or she's been an asshole, or for like the last 2 years, I just haven't been able to make a change. I haven't been able to. You're not going to change it.
Right.
People are going to still be people.
Right.
They can make decisions with you though. If you're, like I said, if there are mutual decisions, I think that's where the magic happens.
Right.
For me.
Right. Well, see, and that's just it. I think a lot of people don't see their behaviors as like controlling behaviors, or they don't see themselves as being obsessive.
Yeah, it's hard to see yourself as being that. Yes, you do need to check yourself.
It really is difficult, but you need to make that. You could
be the toxic in the relationship.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You could be the toxicity, right?
Yep.
It's about really being willing to look at that. And I mean, I know that I'm not saying that I was the only toxicity, but I have been toxic in relationships. Other people have been toxic toward me. I think growing up the way I did, that's kind of what I figured was normal, unfortunately. And it took a lot of self-reflection to realize, hang on, nope. You know what I mean? It is understanding that in a lot of relationships, it's a double toxicity, right? A lot of times we feed into that. And we have to remember how we responded to the toxic person. Did we respond in a totally balanced and healthy way and then walk away because we knew it was a toxic thing? No, we didn't. We engaged and we got toxic ourselves.
Yep. that's the whole, like, that's what the point I was trying to make earlier. People get together now, get pregnant to hold on to each other. And they already, or to try to make things better.
Right.
All right. 20 somethings. Don't ever do this shit.
Right.
Because what happens is it's not going to make it better. It's going to make it much worse because it's going to put a lot more pressure on your relationship to have kids. So whoever's out there thinking that, come out of
because now
La
you've
land.
had kids to stay close to
Don't
this
go to
person,
that
but this
place. That's
person's
not a good place
enough
to
to
go.
be that part. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, don't go having kids to be with people. Just because your boyfriend said, "Oh, I can't wait to be a daddy," doesn't mean you need to make him one.
Right.
Y'all can sit for about 5-6 years thinking, "Yeah, I can't wait to be a mama either. Let's just take our time."
Yeah, they think that's the whole naivety of their thinking is, and emotionally, like that's the whole thing. You're kind of a disadvantage because at that age your emotions are like raging still. So if you were to like lose somebody, or somebody was, you know, threatened to break up with you, or you kind of had these like spats all the time, or you were like right to the end. And that's another thing. Don't deal in absolutes either.
Right.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. But really, I've seen that happen. I've seen it. People, okay, well, if we just have kids, things are going to be better. I've actually seen that. I've heard people say that more than once.
And I've also seen where like they try so hard to get pregnant and they can't get pregnant. Now we have this whole other level of issue.
Yeah.
Because no matter how hard we're trying, this thing ain't happening. How can you guys handle that? How are you going to handle that? If it just doesn't? Can you love yourselves through that? Or are you expecting each other to give each other something, hence the child, so much that you cannot handle that person if it does not happen?
Right.
Right? It's a journey. Can you journey with this person? Ups, downs, and in-betweens.
What's up, Christy? What's up, Wanda? We see you all. Looks like y'all are giving some love to YouTube. Thank you.
Yes, it's fucking awesome.
That's where we need to build anyway. Facebook, I'll still go on there. It's just, it's dead. It's dying. It's dying like MySpace. Actually, MySpace died in a night.
Dude.
They did it on purpose, though. Thank God, Tom.
Right.
He didn't want the government going in back doors in his program or his
Facebook
platform. So he said, well, I guess I'm done then. We're not doing it anymore. And he kept the site still up.
Honest,
I still found my MySpace. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, we're still on here, but nobody's on there anymore. Right. And that's what I think is happening.
I barely started up a MySpace channel at that when Facebook came out. I was a little behind the times. So
on MySpace, we had like,
and I had one for a little while.
With the band, we had 50,000 fans.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for me.
Right?
50,000 fans is a lot. And then we moved to Facebook.
Yep.
From there.
Yep.
Facebook's completely dropped the ball.
They like destroy it little by little.
They hook up like gamers, the big gamers, they get, and even I think it's the people put into the, like you could actually get organic reach and organic growth.
Yep.
Just by doing something or offering something, you know, a service. But
they stop you.
But yes, it's like blocked. It's, if you're not paying into ads like all the time, it's like complete, and it always was corporate and government.
Yes, but once they added the stars and really figured out how they keep all that business right up in there, if you were
how they could middleman,
you know, it's
and that's why we do this show the way we do it.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no middleman.
No.
It's a direct link. That's why I kind of tell people, you know, it's more when I'm giving readings, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
To add stars.
It is.
Because the middleman wants to take their cut.
Yep.
And their cut's pretty big.
Yep. And because of that big cut, it's going to cost you a few more stars.
Yeah. And that's probably another reason why they don't give my channel reach. Because I know I get reach because I've got it plenty in the past. And it just slowly, not even slowly, like pretty quickly over a couple of years, just really died. Which means they're not bringing in a lot of new accounts.
No.
So people are going elsewhere. I know Twitter's live right now. You can go to Twitter and you'll.
Yeah.
I mean, beware.
Twitter's I don't.
Well, I mean, Twitter's where like celebrities tweet and
exactly.
Like you can actually engage with them.
I get mouth diarrhea, so I can't fit myself.
It is
on
very
Twitter
like
very well.
You have to be to get any reach there. You have to be very clever in what you say, or very, very intelligent with and articulating your points.
And I'm not.
And it is
good
very
at that,
political
so.
on Twitter. So
Unfortunately, yes, it is.
but there's a lot on Twitter. But
there is. You get a lot of
not
news
unfortunately.
on
It's
Twitter.
good that
It is
people are
good.
speaking.
It is
I mean,
good. Yeah, it is good.
It's probably one of the best. Well, it's not the free speech platform, that's for sure. But
no,
it's probably the freest right now.
And don't let anybody think it's because of Elon Musk.
No, Mr.
Come on,
Elon.
y'all.
Oh, the billionaire's here to save
He
us.
playing his role too.
That's almost like, what was that, Dave Chappelle, where he was trying to do a skit. He was doing a skit on, or he did a skit on the African slaves, and how he's like leading. You know, he's one of the people from Africa that gets taken. He's like, hey, look, there's a ship over there. I'm gonna go down and see what they want. That's kind of the Eli thing, or Elon. It's not. It doesn't matter. There's gonna be somebody that jumps into his place again.
Yeah.
These are fake superheroes.
Yes.
They're not real.
They're not here to help you, especially for us.
And it's
because we all, like I said, as a society,
Elon gave us free. Like what?
We
knew all the things that he's talking about. We knew.
Yeah, idolizing people.
Like we knew a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's releasing all this stuff.
And
like he hasn't given us. And they're all like screenshotted.
It's
there's not even documentation. Nope, it's not even cited proper documentation.
You're not getting any citations.
It's just screenshotted, and you can fake a screenshot really easy. Yep. And I'm not saying that what's coming out is not true. I'm just saying that it's
haphazard.
This is a distraction.
Real
this is a
journalism.
Because what else is going on right now?
So we have the war in Ukraine. We have the fucking
there's a lot of distraction. We are in a war. If anybody hasn't figured that one out yet, I mean, we're not seeing the war right here, but
we are.
And Russia doesn't want to fight with us, dude. They're just saying, get off my porch.
Real, we're seeing it here too.
They're just saying,
willing to look.
Oh yeah, psychologically.
Yeah.
Information-wise, yes, we're in a war.
Spiritually,
I don't know why we went to this dark hole, but it always leads right here.
Because that is what's happening in the world today, y'all. No, I mean,
there is happiness here, and I think in spite of all the shit that's going on,
right?
There's a lot of light coming out. There's a lot of people illuminated and illuminating the world and making changes. So
just know you got.
If anything, it's motivating us to go a different way,
right?
And I think when it comes, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to choose.
Yeah.
Do I want this system, or do I want to help create another system that's better for all of us? And that's where I think it's going to go. My psychic prediction.
Right. Well, I think that
it's going to be a lot harder to live within the means of having everything at your disposal, everything like right away, like easy.
We're going to
it's going to be harder to have those things.
Yes.
It's going to be hard to give the easy way, basically, like it always is.
I think, it's going to take
the easy way is never the easiest way. It's always the hardest.
Yes. Way. Takes a lot of hard work to be a human that feeds them, to be perfectly or completely responsible for yourself and make sure that you are not protruding on anyone else's right to be completely responsible for themselves.
Right.
Takes work. You have to know what you're doing and pay attention to what you're doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And really, if we were all just handling ourselves and not intruding on anyone else's business, they'd come to us for what we offer, we go to them when they offer. If we just kept things cordial, for crying out loud. But no, we got to make it all political and we
got to go over there and spread democracy.
We're democratizing.
Beware of spreading democracy. Anytime we want to spread democracy,
let's be real.
It usually ends up with a lot of people dead.
That's right.
All right. So
anyway,
back to the point. That's a toxic.
It
is
a very toxic relationship. It is
very toxic. America's like the they're like the abusive husband.
Yes.
That and everybody else in all these countries, but now finally other countries are like, okay, that's enough. We're starting a coalition. We can't you can't steal our lunch money every day.
Right.
Like we're not. And they're
You've had enough taking our lunch
money. And they're doing it in a proper way that they don't want to fight because they know America's. They don't want to, but they have to defend themselves. And I'm not on anybody's side.
Nope.
I don't claim any flag. Yeah, I was born in America.
Yep.
But I'm not I don't.
And I love the country.
I consider myself a man of the universe, not a little piece of property.
Right.
Well, yes,
I do.
My Shangri-La will be when we move out to our land. Our Shangri-La.
Our 3 acres is going to be our little heaven on earth. Yes. But
I'm not going to put a flag
it
up.
will also be a lot of hard work.
I'm not going to play flag
right?
games.
Like to grow our
unless I'm
food
sending
and take
signals
care
of
of our
some kind.
animals and to make our own milks and juices and teas and but that's the whole point, is being able to.
And I think it's even
do
just
that.
like being able to like do one thing, or just starting with something.
Yes.
Like right now is a good time to start growing plants,
Mm-hmm.
growing food, growing vegetables.
Yep.
It's a good time to get those seeds started. And we need to get some seeds started now, as
Yep.
I'm saying that.
Yep.
More so in February, but I think January we can start some things. I'll have to go look at the almanac. If y'all ever have a question about planting, go look at the Farmer's Almanac for wherever you live.
Right.
And they'll tell you, they've got things in there that'll tell you when you can grow things, when you start things. I know y'all have heard
And
of
for
the
the
almanac,
most part, it is very, very accurate. So.
Farmer's Almanac. Go check it out. It's online. You can go check on it whenever you want, for weather, for when to plant things. They've even got these little like cool affirmations, or like little stories or riddles. I don't know. I don't know what you would call them.
Hyperboles.
But they're like they're like little haikus.
Yeah.
Little poems, but they mix, like they're crazy, but they're a lot of that stuff. It's not as crazy as you think.
Right.
The almanacs go back.
Well, see, and that's just it.
Hundreds of years, and they can tell you what weather patterns are coming up. Just
connecting
by that,
once again to the
documenting.
earth, to the nature, to the cycles of things. I mean, just understanding the cycles of life within yourself, within your environment, and be able to work with that to create your own food, clothes, home, like have those things that you need without having to worry about like, what's it going to cost me tomorrow?
Right.
Building enough for yourself that maybe for a little while you stress about, do I have enough water? But eventually, no, yeah, I've got enough now. I got enough things built up that when I collect enough, it's it starts to, when you put into these things, especially nature, she gives back, and it's just understanding that harmonious relationship.
That's right. We got people coming in here.
Woo! Welcome.
I opened it up. Now we got everybody coming in. What's up, Teresa? What's up, Anthony?
Hey.
So do y'all have a story or something to add to the conversation
this time?
That's good. You should focus on YouTube because
Yeah.
I'd rather throw that.
People down there tonight.
Yeah, it's got a better feel.
It does. It does.
But Facebook's fine if you're on Facebook. That's cool.
Yep.
That's why we're on Facebook too.
Well, Facebook's got me watching Super Nanny again, so I don't know about that.
Oh God, honey, I know she's watching Super Nanny. I'm like, you really want to watch child
That's
raising
what I was
children
doing when I was raising.
again?
I was developing that, and then I don't know.
Oh,
yes, there's something
child
about
development.
That I'm going back and I'm watching.
Child development.
I did do that. Yep,
Well,
I did that. I don't know why. I don't know.
Her
It's
inner
a
child.
thing. It's an
It could be her inner child.
What was that, Anthony?
But it could be her inner child. When you're watching stuff like we said, reprimanding children, stuff like that, or trying to control, it could be her subconscious inner child watching this stuff and trying to say, "Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Was I being controlled? Was I being a little more rambunctious than I should have been?"
I'm like, you know what I'm like? I already have a TV going off in my head all the time about raising children. So I don't need to watch any more of that. I've already seen it. I'm good.
But it just depends on what, like you said, if you are the director of your life, right?
Yeah.
What type of where would you set your lifestyle at? What year? Would you set it back in the days of the 50s and 60s, 30s and 40s, or would you do it all the way from the 70s and 80s? Would you do it right now?
I'm good right where I'm at. I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm good in the present day, like right where I'm at, like, because if you go back too far, like I can't go back too far. I'm brown skinned, dude. Like I go back too far, that's like rich mom and shit. So I got to stay right where I'm at. I'm cool. I like the life I'm in right now. And I like. Yeah, if I had a choice, it would be present day. I mean, think about it. The present day, can we not have like the coolest lives, like our timeline? I mean, it's horrible in a lot of ways, but it's also very beautiful. watching it unfold and watching people just kind of open
Come
their
into
eyes
their
to
own
things.
and wake
Yeah.
up and realize they
So I would choose this time.
Yeah.
What about you, Teresa?
I don't want any trouble.
What are you talking about? Trouble.
I don't know. What
I think she
were you
was thinking about
talking
the.
about?
I'm said. Well, Anthony, ask her the question you asked us.
Well, the question is, if you're directing your life, right, and stuff, what era would you start the scene off in? Would you be like in the 30s and 40s, or would you be right now, or in the 70s and 80s, or back in medieval times?
If I could choose?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, you could choose.
Mm. Gosh, that's a hard decision. I think I like right where I am.
There you go. Yeah,
I do.
I would rather be here because I think as we go further, it's going to get even better. So it is going to kind of revert to a lot of things, or we're going to go back to a lot of things that we didn't do before, or that we did before that we don't do now.
Right.
And I think, that is like somewhat, if I could, if I had another time to choose other than, my favorite, my second would be, God, I don't even know, probably the Old West, but that's a pretty harsh place.
Oh, yeah, well, like I said, yeah, for the tech, that's what's so funny about when we catch archaeological diggers and stuff, when they dig up something that looks like a cell phone, and it's like, well, they had technology, same thing technology we have now, and it's like, okay, so what happened? Is it just plainly that we lost that knowledge?
Yeah.
Yep.
And because we misused it?
Well, see, here's the thing. Think about the generations that we've raised, right? And each generation, because at least I'm going to use the America for my biggest key, because we've slowly but surely done certain things here in America. We've taken and we've kind of split up the family unit, right? First, dad always went off to work. Mom stayed home, tended to the kids. And then it became dad had to work so much that he was gone all the time and mom was tending to the kids. Then it got to where dad couldn't make enough. Now mom has to go to work. Now both parents are work. Someone else is delegating children responsibilities. Slowly but surely, we've kind of taken ourselves further and further away from the natural workings of things. And it even got to a point.
Connections instead of the toxic connections.
Yes. And so we started, and look, it didn't take many generations, did it? No. To get society to believe that we have to have jobs and leave our kids for someone else to deal with, and come home and have this perfect house setting and go, you know what I mean? Like it. If you want to revert all that thinking back to a natural state, you'd be thinking about your farm, your land, your responsibilities, right? Mm-hmm. You would be tending to your children and your household. You'd still have hard work.
Things. You trade. You sacrifice certain things for that.
Right.
Yep.
Like you have to put a lot of the work into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all coming from you.
But I've noticed with every family I've seen that grows their lives together, whether they're traveling or just living in smaller quarters that work well together, or on homesteads or farms, these families are a lot more balanced and have more harmony within them, right? Because they're actually working on what matters in their lives, right? And especially if you grow up on farms and you play with the animals, you get to kind of have some fun with the stuff. You don't make it something that you have to do all the time. That is thought process. You'll just, I don't know, I've noticed a lot more harmony with families that are closer together, working on their family goals, right? Like they still have their own lives. They all do their own things, but they have this homestead.
And family doesn't always need to be just a family of
your
blood
own
relatives.
Yeah, right.
A family could just be in a community of people that
they
get along. They don't all agree, but they keep things in harmony because they all have certain goals. And this is what I would perceive heaven as, right?
Right.
Is everybody has their own individual thoughts about things. There are some truths that we're not going to be able to dispute. They're just truths.
Right.
But there's plenty of nuance there, and there's plenty to learn. But we can also, be around each other without cutting each other off in the, on the highway or whatever, or, cutting in front of line in front of somebody, or snubbing somebody at the grocery store. Like these little snubs that are just
being willing to.
It's just very selfish and material. Like we have become way too materialistic. we've become way too enamored with all of our creature comforts.
Yes. Yes.
And I know I still need to let a lot of mine go, but I gave a lot of things up
Yes, we did.
to go on this journey, and I don't feel bad about it.
No.
I really don't.
No,
I feel a lot more free because
it's amazing how much you can get, how much you can actually do without that you thought you could never do without, and it's like, especially from being growing up overseas a little bit and stuff, where the power company decides to go on strike and they cut the power off for the whole weekend, and you ain't got power. So you're like,
right.
And then,
And
like you said, you come back and all of a sudden the power goes out, and people are freaking, and they're looking at you like, why aren't you freaking out? The power went out. Like, yeah. So what? This never happened to you before? Right. You light a candle.
Yep.
You get a flashlight. You make do with what you. But
I was just like
when
today,
you catch an article.
Yeah, I was just bored today, and I'm like, "You want to play cards?" She was watching The Nanny, so obviously she didn't want to play. But really, you put light candles, you do what you do. Like we were without power for like 3 or 4 days. Last year, was it last year or the year before?
It was the year before.
A couple of years ago, and we just went outside, and there was a carport. We got a barbecue. We cooked our food out there. We put our stuff in coolers.
Yeah.
You know, we managed to, stay happy and
right.
Not really that worried about it.
Right.
You know, humans are very resilient and can deal with a lot,
really,
but
I mean, yeah.
It's what we've like grown accustomed to that's been so easy for us to get.
That's what I mean by look at how few generations it really takes to change that mindset, right? If I'm and from my grandmother's era to my mother's, my mom picked up on some of that. But from my mother's to our era, you see the difference, right? And how the kids were thinking in my generation as opposed to the generation before to the generation before that, right?
Yep.
For a long time, parents were trying to make it easier for their children. And in that ease came certain consequences, which I think is the mindset of today's people. Like we kind of all expect certain things, or I mean, a lot of us rebels kind of could see through it. But the point is we grew up with certain like religions, mindsets, politics, whatever it is. We had that era of this is what you're supposed to do because it's the law, it's the rules, it's the this, it's the that. And if you had anything to say against that, they'd say, but that's just how it works. This is the way it's done. This is the way it's always been done. Just do it. And that's a problem.
Well, we've just we're going to end up like, you guys ever seen the movie Wall-E, where the movie about the little robot on Earth and then everybody else is up in space?
Yeah, that was cute.
And they're all like, they're all the humans are up in space and they're like in these chairs, like these easy chairs are just floating around in them, and they're just
getting their food,
gaining weight.
They've
lost all their muscle mass because they've been up in space so long and they haven't really done anything. Yeah, that's kind of where you'll end up if you go too far that way of needing everything or having everything at your disposal.
Right.
But even today's relationships and even marriage itself society has turned it into literally a business.
Right. Well, it's a legal contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if we're turning marriage into a business,
I marry people for a living, so I know. I do a lot of actually just ceremonies. Thankfully, some people still just do the ceremonies because they want to just.
And I get that. Like that's what Norma does. She does for like people that want to elope a lot.
I do a lot of
and spiritual like ceremonies.
Yeah,
that's neat.
Like untraditional, non-traditional.
Non-traditional.
Hey, I want to get married by the ocean, or I want to get married, in the mountains, or I want to, you've done both of those.
I have both mountains
and the desert.
And the desert. I have.
Yeah, you've done all those.
I have. Just need a jungle now.
And a backyard barbecue. That one was. I didn't show up to that one.
And now you need to do it. She also needs to do a speed
wedding. You know what? We should do a mass wedding. Like
I thought about advertising like a mass wedding, but but whatever.
We haven't get around a boat and marry people.
Same gender wedding yet?
No, I haven't. No, you're right.
I'm surprised. Why?
I know. I'm kind of surprised too.
We're cool with that,
right? It just so happens that mostly boys and girls want to get married, I guess.
No, I think that's true, but I'm just saying it's out there.
In untraditional ways. Maybe. No,
Norma
that
does
doesn't
marry
seem to make
people.
sense. But I do, yeah.
So how do they find you?
You can find me, well,
Mystic
you could have found me on
Mystic
Google.
Norms,
But
Wellness and Weddings.
yes, Mystic Norms, Wellness.
Google, she's locked
you
out
can still
of
find my
Google right
name,
now.
but they've kind of locked me out for a minute, which really pisses me off.
And Yelp screwed me over, so I don't want to use them anymore.
Yeah.
They were really shady.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Was?
Yelp. Yeah.
Why?
Well, they told me I had all this free advertising, and I said, okay, that's fine. If you want to give that to me, you give it to me. But you need my card. I said, but I'm not paying for any extra. Like I'm not adding to that. And they said, fine, yeah, no problem. Well, and so I wasn't hearing back from my sales representative or whatever.
Right.
And so I just went and canceled it all. Come to find out, I get like a $60 charge on my card for advertising or for Yelp. So I called them up and I told them, yeah, I didn't approve this.
See, that's
yeah,
because
they're just very shady and fucking they were shady about it.
So I personally feel like a lot of Google's the same way. Well, Google's probably worse, but it's all the same. But I think Yelp is probably one of the best places. But you guys, we have to get more people to do reviews. Like the more Yelp reviews that you get, I fucking Yelp everything because no, I do, because you can't buy the reviews. So
right.
I just don't appreciate getting stolen from. That's the problem.
She told him, okay, if you go in by this time and you
subscribe, and I made that all clear up front, and she agreed to all of it. And then I got a $60 charge, and I could have, if I wouldn't have canceled, I would have got like a $400 charge on my card. So they're doing some shady shit. Yeah. They're just Google. I've never had a problem with them as far as other than just like when I relocate.
And that's why I think they suspended me.
But other than that, that's where I get, like, if I get anybody that calls me other than Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I mean, not Twitter, TikTok, it's Google. Like I'll just get calls from Google.
See, and people just call me. A lot of my weddings, and that's why I'm really.
And that's where Norma gets her weddings. So yeah, Google's shady as shit. But you know what? They've never taken any money that way.
Shit, Google is the worst. Google is the worst one. They are.
And yes, I do travel for weddings.
They are, but they haven't personally got me that. Like, I'm not gonna not do business with somebody,
right?
Unless they're shady with me.
See,
and Yelp was way shady with
them. I just put my business where people search. And now, because I've moved, I don't know why they fucking, dude. Oh, it's pissing me off really bad that they've taken me down.
But what's funny is I knew that they were going to do that to me from the beginning. Right. That's why I cleared it all up, because I knew that's why they were calling the way they called me. I get these calls sometimes. Go ahead.
Yelp those, because you can't pay for, like, Google. You can. I mean, I can write 10 fucking different reviews for the same place. And
no, you can't. Nuh-uh, because you tried to do it for me. Remember? Or no, you can't do it on Google either. You can't leave more than one review unless you use a totally different account.
Right.
Which you can. But I mean, I couldn't even, like, Kathy wanted to, or I think Kathy left me a review on Yelp. And then Norma tried to leave me one. And somebody else tried to leave me one, and they wouldn't let them go through.
Yeah.
Which I get it. It's your girlfriend. So I get that. But how did they know that?
Right.
They wouldn't approve her rating. Her review.
No, of course.
Still on the page.
It's all documented and recorded. Everything we do, you guys know that. Like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I just, as far as Yelp goes with business, I'm still on there, but I'm not ever gonna. I'm not. I can
pay a fucking dollar. Like when I was a manager at the custom carpet place, and I set them up. When I got there, they didn't even know. Oh my God, they pulled out a fucking manual for a typewriter. I was like, what in the fuck is this? This is a thing for a typewriter. I was like, no, dude, just like, oh my God, it was so cute, because we were looking for a phone number. And then he got out the yellow pages, and I was like, what are we doing? I'm like, I did Google the place we're looking for, my friend. So it was like, they were like their 70s, but it was super cute. But everything, you guys get it.
Yeah, I'm cool. Like, Facebook's done the same thing to me. I still owe them $26 from a hacker that went in there and charged me. But what they want me to do every time I go in there to dispute it, they want me to add my credit card. I'm like, no.
Exactly. exactly. Why do you have
No, I'm not going to do that. Like, just to dispute it,
Yes.
just to like tell them what's wrong.
Yeah.
I have to. So there's like $26 on there. I'm like,
So
whatever.
basically, what they want is if you're willing to pay into their system, do things their way.
Yeah, that's why I think that like Facebook and actually executives at Facebook or teams at Facebook are sending out a lot of these hackers and these. I think they're like third-party hackers that are coming in but are hired by these bigger companies to kind of because I've seen it before. I've seen it when I was on Keen.com. Once it turns like really corporate,
Yep.
it ruins it. It ruins it. It becomes really fake and phony and superficial. And that's what these companies become. They always do. Not always. Like I said, Tom from MySpace didn't do that.
He didn't. Nope.
He said, nope, I'm just bowing out.
I'll just, fine, fuck it. Take all my people.
That's because there's a line. There's a line that's drawn, and you either, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but you either sell your soul or you don't.
Yep.
And
that's right.
Again, I mean in the nicest way possible, but like
you
either do or you don't, dude.
Right.
That's
it.
like,
And you don't have to. You don't have to, though. That's what they make you believe.
Yeah.
They're like, there's those same people that'll say, you'll never work in this town again. Those kind of people.
Yeah.
But yes, I will. I'll do whatever the fuck I want to.
Exactly.
That's the music business was the same thing. That was I saw it in the music business just at a smaller level.
Right.
You know, I played around people that were signed. We played with people that were under contract and had distribution deals. I mean, we played with Hammett, what's their name? Royal Bliss. And those guys like were really interested in what we were doing when we were playing, which was kind of a good feeling. Like, oh, that's cool. Anyway, you have to sell your soul or your artistic integrity and to even get anywhere. And there's a lot of people that do that. That's why there's people that are making millions of dollars doing it.
Even just like in the clubs, you know,
there are some that are so talented that you just can't deny them. And they'll stick to the ones that are really talented. Most of those people don't get screwed over because they're like, nope,
I just want
you want me.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yep.
You don't have to turn me into anything. I come all ready to go.
That's what I am. That's what I do.
Those type of people that are more savvy in the business and that know how to like stick to their guns. If you're good enough, you can do that. If you are gaining that much of appeal, you can. But a lot of these younger bands are like, I know, because we would have taken a deal that sucked just to be signed, just for the label of being signed, right? So, and I see it. It's like there's a show that goes on. That's why I see it in politics. That's why I see it, or it's helped me see it in a lot of like just in institutions. A lot of it's just like a show. It's play acting. You know, even us, but we wanted to create that show because we're musicians. So we wanted to create a show when we went in to whatever venue we played, that there was a mystique there. There was a, you know what I mean? We all wore black. We all wore slacks. We all wore leather shoes, fedoras. You know, we made it. Yeah, we made it like an experience. Like that's what we wanted to do. Because we cared. Like the music means something. You'll see us play our music, but you're gonna feel that mystique before we come in.
Well, that's how
but they do this shit.
You.
They take it too far. Politicians, you know, really, really uber rich people, when they're trying to cover things up, like I'd say, all the morning shows on normal TV are crap. They're not going to tell you anything.
If you want a good
they're not even going to give you a happiness. Like it's not a true happiness. It's superficial happiness.
Yes.
I
agree.
Teresa knows how the music business works, how the entertainment business works. Yeah, to a certain level, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's anywhere because
you had to make a show, you know. That's what people want.
Well, see, and that's
You're
the whole
creating it. And you know, if you don't do that, no one is going to remember you.
That's just it. Encompassing someone into your, hypnotizing them, right?
Yeah, we wanted people to go home feeling
understanding
good,
that
they, like, that was a great show.
They had an experience that they just lived through, not just I went to this bar, I heard some music, whatever. Right. You want your people engaged.
But it's important that everybody sees things that way. That there is a curtain. There is a curtain that you're not seeing behind, or maybe you're starting to. these people that seem very trusting and very well polished,
Mhm.
you know, these anchor people and these the press, the media,
Those they say had some
they're
authority
they're not
someplace.
they're not as good as you think you are.
No.
Actually, I've actually talked to 2 reporters that were working for NBC.
Mhm.
I gave readings to both of them. I'm not going to mention
Yeah.
names,
Right.
but they were both very shallow and
Yeah.
superficial. Like that just and
Surprise.
Well, if I'm willing to
Surprise.
yeah, I mean, just
read someone's script
you
every
could
day.
tell, like just by reading somebody, you know, if you're giving somebody a reading, it gets really intimate. And
I imagine.
you can, when you only get to a certain place and you're like, wow, you're totally running from this whole other part of your life. That's because you're willing to trade diamonds for gold.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a fucking tragedy. I'm gonna mic.
It is, and you know, and that's why it's important that we don't fall for these fake like heroes. That's what I was talking about earlier, and connect to those people because they're trying to take what's natural and grassroots, and whenever that shit comes from the top, don't fucking trust it.
Right.
You know, whenever this
So
like
they're
I'm gonna be
just
a hero,
doing a show.
it's a show.
It's
Yes,
the same
They-
thing, and
yes.
no
it's
matter
PR.
where
Yep.
it's
Exactly.
And it's
on
to
the
give
TV.
you the information that's truth and drip it out the way they want to. So it's narrated in such a way where none of those people are really bad guys.
Right.
They'll blame it on all the workers that are working in secret.
Oh no, see,
They'll
see,
expose
this
those
happens.
people that are just like probably regular agents and officers.
Mhm.
They're just you know following orders. That's who they shit on the most.
Yep.
And
They
that's
shit on the people that follow the orders.
no, that you know what? That is the problem right there, Aaron. That they don't even fucking know how much they're being shit on. They don't even
Right.
No.
No,
Yeah.
they do not realize it at all. They are being treated like dogs, and they think that they're being like
They think that
kings.
their status is somewhere, but it's just superficial status. It doesn't mean anything. Nobody gives a shit. Like none of the people that you think give a shit give a shit.
shit. Exactly. They don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Another toxic connection, right?
Right. Yes. Knowing that you can turn to something and get some reliable things and being open-minded to whatever, that's great. But when you depend on something or someone, especially an institution, to handle something for you, know the weather, see the news, whatever it is, if you are expecting that to happen all the time,
Yeah.
Not
you are
anymore.
holding on to a toxic idea.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, Norma. Toxic is like the exact word is toxic. It's toxic. Yep.
You know, my husband and I think, yeah, we were talking about when did this mistrust of media in specific start? You know?
Well, when
Why
we
did
all
they-
started figuring out that the
Forever.
fucking media was full of shit.
I don't,
It really
I think
started
it started
once the
when
zombie apocalypse
um,
happened.
Hold on, everybody started
So,
talking at once.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go ahead, Anthony.
let's say back in a couple of years back, they that guy that bit that other guy, Nick. He was high on bath salts in Florida, and the Onion News Network ran it as a zombie apocalypse, right? And the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of the news and the rest of the news people took it for real news and
right.
ran with it also. And I'm like, yeah, that is when we stopped believing in the real news.
And you know what? You want to
Is
hear
when we have
something?
a fake
The
news
news was
zone.
never fucking real, even before that.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
when we
yeah,
figured it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
All these people again.
Yeah, but literally it came
Walter
to-
Cronkite. What's the guys that did Watergate? Damn it, the guys that reported on Watergate. I can't. Woodward and Bernstein. They were all like Woodward right now, or is it Bernstein? I can't remember which one it is. They're out there pushing like all this propaganda. Like,
that's what we're
okay, so like, when were we ever told the truth?
Well, see, here's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I see it. When I finally could actually sit down to watch the news, I realized it was because it was kind of entertaining. And when I actually started paying attention, every 5 minutes they were trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I could finally handle watching the
Christy,
news,
okay, I was gonna say, you
it
turned
really
the
wasn't the
camera
news. What it was something that grasped my mind. It was that hypnosis, right? The bells and the whistles, the entertainment, the funness of it all. But when I actually paid attention to why I was finally paying attention, I went, "Oh my God, the fuck am I
I'm
doing?"
gonna make a perfect example. y'all know that Nike shoes, right? Like just Nike shoes, and
Mhm.
a lot of like really nice lady shoes are being they're being created by slave labor. Like, not there's a good slave labor, like there is a good slave labor, but you're not a slave like you owe somebody something.
Like you're working
But
on your own farm,
trading
right?
you're trading things
Right.
with each
Yeah.
other, right?
Yeah.
But there's
Right.
a slave labor that's going on right now that like,
100%.
still Nike still to this day is using slave labor to build or to to create their shoes.
Yeah. We say
Yeah.
sweatshops and we don't mean a
Sweatshop.
where
There
they
you
build
go.
sweats. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Right.
Sweatshop. That's a better way to say it. Yeah.
For sure. I get
I
it.
mean, you
too.
got like,
It's
I mean,
fucking
they've got
disgusting.
all these gems, these really precious gems. A lot of those are coming from people that are, being oppressed and made to mine these things.
Well, we have to understand is that they have sickened a lot of these societies in these areas so much so that it really
When I mean
does take.
oppressed, I mean like children.
It really
mining.
takes that 6-year-old now because mom and dad can't walk anymore to go out and make some money so that they can eat today.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's about sickening a society so much so that you have to oppress the child in order to handle anything.
Yeah.
Right? And making that an everyday thing for these poor people. It's gross.
What were you saying, Christy? Did you call my name?
Yeah. There's Wanda wants to ask you a question. So I don't know if she's still in the live, but she did ask if she could ask you a question.
Yes.
Yeah, you can ask me a question. She said, may I ask a question for Mandy Baldwin, or if she can remember to ask about an angel?
I'll take the question.
Yeah, what's the question? We'll gladly take it. We're watching chat. We just got into a conversation there for a minute.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, okay. My boys just walked in. Hold on, guys.
Okay. We'll wait for the question. We'll see. But yeah, think about like, I don't know, all the fake foods that are being sold to us, and they're the most or the most advertised.
I want to
the
say
real food is like we've forgotten about real food. And we haven't for the most part, but we still do if it's easy and cheap. Go just stop at a McDonald's or stop at.
Oh my
that
God.
stuff is
Yes, but that's so
not real food. None of that
anymore.
is real food.
Not anymore. Dude, did you guys watch the McDonald's movies? Did you see those poor brothers get screwed right out of their fucking business?
Oh my God. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Yeah, they were actually like an In-N-Out burger, but the first, like they were the first to figure out how to work in like fast food, like make it fast food. But they wanted all their products. When they first started, all their products were authentic. They were all
natural, real fucking food.
But this other guy that took over was a shyster, and he was a businessman with parentheses. Or quotes.
General corporate person.
But he just totally screwed him. Yeah, he totally took over. They actually started to buy land. If you've never seen the movie, they bought land, so much land that like if you had a McDonald's or wanted to franchise it, you had to rent from their land too. So they like started to become like this company store. Started to sell shakes that weren't real ice cream; they were powdered.
Yep.
Started to sell their fries. Their fries used to be really good when I was a kid, but when I got older, they like started to. They just really had a.
And like
really
I said, I have a soft spot
for
for McDonald's because I did have birthday parties there when I was a kid. Whatever,
that's what poor people do.
Whatever.
No,
right?
I was gonna say, of course you have a source. Like everybody. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but like it is so fake now that even my favorite sandwich, I have to like scarf down so fast that I barely taste the sauce.
Dude, it's gross.
Pretend.
It's so gross. We had a Big Mac the other day, and I'm like, oh,
right.
Like, this is not even good.
Right. Right.
And unless you go and you order something special, like you say you want like the Big Mac, but you have to add like extra pickles or medium ketchup. Unless
no lettuce. Their lettuce is garbage.
That shit is on a fucking like
their lettuce shriveled up paper that they painted green, dude. I swear.
I'm telling you, they're buying that fucking
anything.
Yeah, it's terrible. But even some of the restaurants that aren't so fast, but they're fast. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the question was because the person that was asking about angels, how I think the question is about how do you know if there's an angel around you, and how do you talk to an angel and stuff? Because like I said, sometimes people will hear like high ringing in their ears and stuff. And
Okay,
they're
okay,
just
so
trying to
now,
dissipate whether it's the actual noise that they're hearing that's causing the vibrations of loud ringing in their ear, or is it an
Yeah.
actual angel talking to you because they do speak at a higher.
I'd
I
like
think
to
that's what
ask
Mandy
the
her
asked,
that.
question
or
is
wait,
So,
for
Wanda
on
asked
the.
for Mandy. She
yeah.
wants to know. Hold on.
Well, that's
Who's
what
the
he's
black
answering
angel?
to.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. So I would say it's not a dark thing. Like if death comes to you, they're not gonna come as like this dark person with fucking
Right.
skeleton face and a sickle.
Mm-mm.
Death is gonna come to you very nicely. They're gonna
Yes.
come to you very comfortably.
Mhm.
So you're just not letting that shadow in. You're not allowing yourself to see more of what that shadow is.
And
I
or
would say investigate it more.
yes.
Like ask it, what is it there for?
Yep. Or ask yourself. Start digging
Or
into
sit down
yourself.
at
Go,
a
okay, hang
table
on
and
now. Where is it that this particular, like the feeling that she got from this particular angel, right? Is she freaked out because it was a black angel that she doesn't already know?
I mean, because
Is
a
she
black angel's still
upset
cool. Like
because
they're not
she
bad
couldn't
guys
quite see? It's
just because
dark.
they're black.
Is she,
No,
have
I don't mean
her,
black skin. I mean just
right.
like dark.
Yes, have her search her psyche to understand the feelings that came with that, and then start questioning the feelings,
Yeah,
right?
figure out, like, really hone in on the on that energy.
Because that energy will then start to explain itself in many different
I
ways.
think it's only coming in a little bit. I think
Exactly.
there's more
See?
to it.
So she wasn't afraid.
Mhm.
So she just needs to connect
Yeah,
with,
see, she wasn't afraid, which even makes it even
Right.
better. That means there's an angel
Yep.
or a spirit or
Yes.
somebody in another dimension trying to let you know
help her out,
or help you
keep
out
her
with something.
calm, make her feel better. But
Well,
she's not expecting that.
set up a tea party. Anytime you have a spirit or something like that
She said she was in
comes up,
sleep.
is literally I found for myself and other people I've helped when they had that sort of like that energy there with them.
Yeah.
Is literally you sit down and you make a hot pot of tea and you set up a hot tea on in an empty chair and have that spirit sit right there in that empty chair while you're sitting on the other side.
Yeah, see, very nice woman. She
And
just said it was a very nice woman. So what was she trying to relay to you? What was the message she was giving to you? Because there was obviously something there, like what happened in that instance, like other than just seeing her.
Did you just feel calm?
What else? What other
sense,
symbology or what message did she give you?
Right. Is they're not always,
or even how did you feel? Like how did you
yes.
feel?
It may not
You
always
said
be
you weren't
one or
afraid.
the
Did you
other,
feel
yeah.
love? You felt nice. She was being nice to you. You were just being contacted by somebody that was probably giving you, like,
If you were in the hospital, especially,
Yeah.
she's saying you're okay.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna come out of this. Don't give up.
and when you do eventually pass, I'll be right here to help you,
Right.
because we're all going to eventually pass.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
I think it's become okay with dying. Learn to master dying. I would suggest
Go
you
beyond the fear.
read the Book of the Dead, the
We've
Tibetan
all
Tibetan.
or the Egyptian, either one.
we've all passed though. That's the thing. Like we've already all done that.
Many times,
Remember that.
probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do it a lot.
Oh yeah.
We do it just as much as we live, and we incarnate. We
That's right.
we reincarnate.
Mhm.
And
This-
no one is ever alone.
No.
No,
And you will not die alone.
Nope.
nope.
They're
I
going to be there
your
for
physical
you.
person-
They're-
Especially if you're
Yeah.
just alone here on this earth,
Exactly.
you will be met by people that love you
That's right.
Oh,
and
yes.
people that care about you. Yes,
See,
but
that's
it
what's
is
cool.
being okay with death. It's being okay,
Yeah.
and I'm dealing with the same thing. As I'm getting older, I'm thinking more about it.
Mhm.
But I understand it's coming eventually. So just enjoy your life right now, or try to enjoy it to the most, the best you can.
That's awesome. That's an awesome experience, girlfriend. Just allow yourself to kind of sit with it. And as you kind of reflect on it, more will come. And you'll,
Like a monitor, like somebody looking over
yeah,
after you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, she's
Your
just kind of,
security.
yeah. She's letting you know, yes, you are protected, girlfriend. I am right here.
Yep.
Didn't she
And I'm-
say something about the ringing in the ears as well?
Yeah, that happens. That's what Anthony was talking about. Is when you do get like that spirit comes in, a lot of the times you will get that ringing in your ears.
I always question the ringing.
Not all the time. Sometimes you'll just get a chill.
Yeah.
But the ringing does play
Yeah,
a part.
it depends on
that's
how
another
they're.
way.
So what I do with my ringing, I take whatever ear I'm feeling in the most. I like close
Most
You're
it
of
up.
the
dealing with
time-
a higher energetic being, so
and
you're
just-
going to get higher vibrations and higher sound.
Yep. So when I do that, I always, like
And
I
most
said,
of
I
the time
put
I
that
tell
ear
for
that I
the
hear
first-
in the most prominent, and I just kind of breathe and I ask. I say, okay, what are you saying right now? And usually, if it comes down to my neurological issues, because sometimes I just get the ringing in the ear because I have nerve issues, it will stop immediately. But if it's someone speaking, it does something different. It's the same high pitch, but when you breathe, you kind of tap into it and you start listening.
Mhm.
Kind of start to
And most of the time,
understand
I tell the new
what's coming
the new
through.
people that can hear that. I tell them just say these words. You're saying you're speaking a little too loud for me to understand you. So next time, speak a little more softer
Right.
and more
Yep.
clearer, so that I
That's
can
a good
understand your
idea.
message. And most of the time, that works out perfectly.
Right?
Yep.
See, and
That
I always
is a
just,
good
I keep
suggestion.
it simple. I just go, okay, what are you trying to say? I can't, all I'm hearing is a buzz. And like I said, if it's my nerve issues and I plug the ear, it stops almost immediately, right? But if it's spirit talking, I give myself that space and that focus on the ear I'm plugging to really hone into what they're trying to say. And now they know that they're buzzing in my ear, they can slow it down or speak it again, right? And so whether it's a feeling that comes over me or just oh, okay, that's it. Even if words didn't fully come through, the message tends to.
Yeah.
And usually
Angels
with
can be at
me,
times very
personally, as my guides
Yeah.
are, they're just giving me a message,
Yeah.
and I hone into what they're saying or take it for when I'm in meditation if I need to, or
Mandy Baldwin said, but I'm never awake. Maybe you are more awake than you, maybe you have. Okay, the Buddhists believe that when you're dreaming in the dream state, you are home. You are awake. This is the sleeping moment.
The conscious mind is the experience that that's taking place. This is the actual dream.
Again, we're going to go back to a good example is like you're an avatar. Your body, your human, is an avatar, but you're playing this avatar. So you're actually controlling it in a lot of ways. But this avatar isn't just like a game player. It actually
has its own free will.
It has free will.
It has its own.
So that's what makes it even harder.
Right. Like when you play.
But you are who you're playing. You are, and you're
exactly
who you're playing is who you are.
Yep.
Who's playing you is who you are.
Yes.
You're one and the same.
Right.
Yep, 3 or 1.
That's right. Well, see, and that's why I like trance and I utilize hypnosis so much, because when you start to understand the conscious subconscious connection, when you're sleeping, it's just your subconscious taking place. Now, sometimes in our subconscious, the things that have happened consciously are going to play out in some weird way. That's that imbalance, right? It's that unfamiliar space where we're not understanding that though we're the same being having the same things happen, we are in two different states of mind. So two different experiences are taking place. It's about balancing those experiences, right? Being able to take the conscious mind's direction while the subconscious is going, yes, I understand that, but here's how it would play out easier, and being able to balance those two things out.
Mandy wonders if it was her God. Could it be your guardian angel?
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
I would say it's your higher self. So it's you.
I call that a
but
guardian
it's
angel.
your higher. I mean, that is a guardian angel, but that's you. You're picking up on your super consciousness, your super you, which is living in a higher dimension. And you're as above, so below. You're playing this part and experiencing these things to kind of collect or gain information for those higher beings, which you are. So yes, you do have guardian angels, which are basically advisors, people that help you, entities or energies that help you. But most of the time, you're hearing yourself. You're hearing your higher consciousness.
And as long as you're hearing and trying, all of that is going to develop with practice.
Right.
Yep.
So
So if
it
you're doing
will
it when
be
you're asleep,
there,
I'd
but
keep a
it's
dream
not
journal. Keep a
now.
dream journal.
Yep.
Write it down. Write down everything you remember.
That's
Have it
a
right
great
next to your
idea.
bed, so when you wake up, you can write down things if you feel like you're not ready to go back to sleep, or if there's something that's pretty profound in your dream that you dealt with or pretty memorable, write it down, and just you'll gain more insight that way by being able to read it back, and it'll help you kind of trigger your memory again.
And also rule out that it's not the spicy tacos you had just before you went to bed.
Maybe sometimes it is the spicy tacos. So
But
I'm
yeah, like
telling
I said,
myself to pull
that's what,
through,
so
she
when you're
says.
talking to
Yes, that's
people,
what you're doing. Yes, and it's coming from a higher place, so it's not just you imagining it. It's you connecting with yourself, connecting with who you really are. Connecting or knowing the people that know when you're supposed to pass, or
Right.
when you're, when it's time,
Allowing you,
are going to let you know.
yeah,
But
saying, no,
that's
you're
not
not
the
done
time
yet.
right now.
You still got some things to do over here. You got this.
Mhm.
You'll be fine.
Also, too, she could be asking a lot of questions about life since everybody's waking up right now. Like, man, how did I get from? I remember where I was at, and now
Right.
I'm all the way up here, and you're like, how did I get all the way up here? I don't remember doing anything. I know I went through the motions
Yep.
of
Yep.
doing it, but all of a sudden I'm awake here and going, what the heck? What am I building here? And that's when we have to pause and reassess what our tools are that we still have, and most of the time we forget that we have certain things that we forget that we even tools that we've never used before, and we're getting these tools now, and it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, how do I use this tool? And it's just
Yep.
trying to understand. And like I said, the best thing I like to say is we have all the answers that we'll ever need
Yep.
when it comes to life.
We do.
It's trying to match. It's like that darn test you have to take in school. Okay, I want you to match the answers to the questions, and it's like, okay, okay, I know some of these. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, you're saying that this answer to this question is wrong, but yet I know in myself that it should be right. And they go look at, oh yeah, you were right. I'm like, and
Yep.
yeah, life is sort of like that. But we have all the answers. It's just trying to match the question to the answer, which
Yes.
because we're always asking questions, but we
Yep.
forget
Well,
that we
because
have the answer. It's just,
yeah, we're a brand new avatar. We're a brand new human being with all, yes, the experiences, all the knowledge of everything we've ever done throughout everything. It's all there. But we're brand new. Doing it for the first time for ourselves. So it really is handling yourself like that child, right? You know that the answers are there, but they have to be kind of shown and guided, right? Being your guider as opposed to your lecturer, being your, how you connect to yourself. That's really the key right there. How do I take these things and integrate them into my life and help myself as opposed to beat myself down, right? Understanding that I failed in this way so many times before. Oh my gosh. And now I'm just gonna do it again because that's the way it's always happened. Oh my God. Or, oh my God, I did it that many times and failed. Okay, you know what? Let's try it this way this time.
No
Let's see how it
failures.
right? It's about really how it really is how we think about these things, how we handle and integrate the things that we know.
Or the things we
Or
come
the
in
things
connect with.
right, or the things that we're
Those
connecting
toxic
with. Those,
connections. I think
yes.
it's about time to wrap it up. We're
Yes.
about a
or
little over an hour and a half.
or fixing
So
the problems of our family line, like I said, alcoholism or
Yep.
anything and that's what we try to do most of the time when our energy is recalled again with the family line and stuff like that, is we have knowledge that can help our family grow.
Yep.
right.
And at the same time, we're trying to fix whatever problems we were not able to fix the last time our energy was here,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and also fix what the family line has not fixed yet.
Yep.
And as we're able to fix different things on our family line, plus our own line ourselves, it becomes more and more stronger. And as the next future generation is born,
Right.
they're having less and less issues because they're like, hey, when I was younger, I didn't have any issues I had issues trying to take care of this problem, but yet here's my offspring having no issues.
Yep.
And you're like, how do you know how to do that? Well, it just comes natural to me, and that's
Well, see,
because
And
we have
one
solved those
thing,
problems.
it keeps it's about the way us parents deal with it. A lot of times when we're raising our children, what level of
Mhm.
toxicity are we at? How much do we remember? How do we handle these things, right? I think it does come down to that. And that's just it. Children automatically know. And they are gonna
Mhm.
deal with things really good until they deal with their first trauma or their first, thing. Then maybe we're gonna start dealing with some stuff. But because now their body, their avatar is reacting to this experience. It's no longer just subconscious saying, hey, yeah, look how well this is going, right? Because our avatar's experiences do that to us. That's what kind of puts the slight split between what we know, the experiences we've already had, into our physical experience. It's the physical experiences that our body's got to fight against. And the stronger our mind is, and the more we involve our physical body into the healing in that process, the better off it happens, right? Knowing that it took me doing this to make this thing happen, I've obviously got to do something
Yep.
to heal it.
All right, you ready to wrap it up?
Yep.
All
One
right,
more
so
thing, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
One more thing. They keep telling us in the medical field and news that we have junk DNA. There is no junk.
Yeah, that's
That's
BS.
where our lifetime memories are.
Yep.
We
That's right.
carry those with us, and we can, with practice, learn how to guide our chakras or see our past lifetimes to learn from them. They're
Yep.
all there.
Or at
Yep.
least take in those lessons and feelings that you believe you know, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to know how you know it. You know it. Know you know it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Accessing the library that we do not know of.
That's right.
But
That's
we're
right. So,
not any
Teresa, if
junk.
anybody wants to find you and talk to you, do you want to give anybody like an email or something?
If anyone
Because I
wants
know
to
you're free
contact
to
you,
open to talk if somebody needs help.
For me?
Yeah. Do you have a way that somebody can get
Yeah,
a hold of
you
you?
can. It's kind of long. It's Teresa's Twisted Rocks.
With no H. There's no H in Teresa's
No
name.
H.
That's right.
No.
All right,
And
Anthony.
Teresa's plural, and that's gmail.com.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. So Anthony, you have a group. You said you had a group, right? You want to invite anybody there or let them know how to find it?
Yep. Oh yeah, just look up believe in the unseen, but it's really when you spell it, it's be alive in the unseen.
Okay.
Okay.
When you put it through Facebook.
Be alive in the unseen, right?
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's one of those. Yeah, literally, yeah. But when you read it, it looks like it reads believe in the unseen. But when because literally, I tried to correct the auto spelling of it, right? But I couldn't. Literally, for some reason,
You
I
better
couldn't get in
change
there
that
to
shit,
change
man. I
it.
know I can change my group
And
name.
no, but no, literally, I've tried thousands of times to go in there, but literally something has
Something's blocking
Well,
you,
it's
There's a
huh?
just the way it
glitch in
is.
the
that
matrix.
name in
Anyway,
right there. So
thank you all. This is a value for value show. So if you
Yes.
found value in this show, please, if you can, if you have it and you have it to spend, please kick down a little bit of a donation or
Yeah.
some type of monetary value.
Like,
If not, go clip it.
share,
Go make clips of the
subscribe.
show. I know on YouTube there's a
Yeah.
little button right there that tells you can make a clip. Go back and
Yeah.
rewind it, screen record it,
Mhm.
share it out on Facebook and all the
Share out
social
those
media.
thoughts that meant
Make sure
something
you
to
tag us in it,
Right.
tag me in it, tag Norma in it. And there's Christy. Hello, Christy. And we're
she's back
we're
for the
just
last minute
finishing up.
countdown.
Was there something you wanted to say before we sign off, Christy? Are you there? Anyway,
I might
value for
cross
value.
off.
if you do want to leave something, there is a in the description. Check the description. Find my link tree. I've got PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App in there. If you can, if you can't, that's okay. It's free. It's
mysticnorms.com with thoughts, ideas, or
and Mystic.
subjects for
Yeah,
the show.
go ahead. What do you? Yeah. Where are you coming from?
You can find me on Mystic Norms Wellness and Weddings on Facebook, Google Mystic Norms. I mean,
She marries
there
people,
is a
and she does do
yes.
meditation, exercises, hypnosis. She
She's
can help you with
good.
these things. She can help you with like inner child problems or issues or just really getting into your psyche.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron Fowler, Psychic Shaman. You can find me at psychicshaman333.com. You can check me out there. I have my videos on there. I have a lot of other content on there. So go check that out. There's a group you can enter there called Shamanic Journeys. Also teach a class once a week, every Tuesday. Right now we're doing every Tuesday. That changes. Sometimes the day changes. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you just go into my website, www.psychicshaman333.com, go look for the Metaphysical Mystics page on that. I think it's the second page on my website, and you can enroll there. But Christy, hello. Uh-oh, she left again.
No, I think it's kicking her.
Anyway, Christy Lewandowski, thank you. She's a big supporter of the show.
She is.
Anthony Lewis is a big supporter. So is Teresa.
Yes.
So is Kathy.
All of
So
you
is Wanda Ladd. So is Kimberly. Kim
Right.
left us a donation after the fact last show. So thank you, Kimberly.
Yes. Thank you all so
Kim.
much.
and
Thank
there's many
you
other.
for just being here too, man. That
Well, I'm glad you
Right?
guys.
That
That's
is
why I wanted to create like
so
some actual
cool.
like instead of watching some bullshit TV because there's no TV that's good TV anymore.
Really. Like I said, I'm either like watching my old techniques going, okay, here's where I failed. Okay.
We can
so
actually
I
just
did
have
that. I did that
conversations
well.
and come up with solutions and that's
Yeah,
what it's all
your
about. It's
time
about
is
solutions.
precious, man. And if you spend it here, major grateful.
Well, thank you. We're grateful
And
for
we are
you guys.
grateful for you.
And everybody, you have a
I'm
great
grateful
night.
to meet
We'll
all
talk
you
to you
guys
soon.
too.
Awesome. Thank
Okay,
you, man.
blessings, guys.
Y'all have a great
Night-night.
night.
Much
Night-night.
love, y'all. Rest well.
Sleep well, everybody.